Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everybody at home all around the world and here in Chicago, Illinois. This is Week 5, day number 1 of Major League Table Tennis. Welcome to MLTT. First, I will call in the officials. Put your hands together for Jovana Kejnovic and Linda Leaf. And the first team I will call out right now is the number 1 team in the East Division. Put your hands together and get those crop chomps ready for the Florida Crocs. Ooh, birds, be careful. These jaws are croc chomping hard. And now get on your feet and show some support for your home team. Stand up and make some noise for your very own Chicago Wind. If you've got those wind generators, those towels, let me see you helicopter them. There we go. All right, now that all warriors have entered the arena, let's shake some hands and slap some skins and let the games begin.
We welcome you back to the land of deep dish, the lovely city of Chicago. We are at the Wintrust Sports Complex, technically in Bedford Park, but we are in the Windy City on this November weekend as the Florida Crocs and Chicago Wind cap our Friday evening here of Major League Table Tennis. Florida entered this weekend atop the East Division. With a win tonight, they will stay in first place, but they need a win tonight because Carolina took down Princeton again in the Golden Game to create some more separation between the top and bottom of the East Division. It's great to welcome you into Chicago with Matt Hetherington. I'm Evan Lepler, and Matt, the Florida Chomps started that. The Florida Chomps, they're the Florida Crocs.
You've gotten sucked in now.
The Chomp has taken on a life of its own. What can Chicago do to prevent the chomping tonight?
Honestly, these two teams have had the closest matches out of almost anyone. In terms of the singles and doubles, they've gone just 1 point of difference in both of their matches. And then you have the Golden Games, which have been as close as it gets. So if anything, it's almost a coin flip. It's almost 50-50. Unfortunately for Chicago, that coin flip has gone in favor of the Florida Crocs on. I'm going to get stuck into calling them the Florida Chomps now. It's gone in favor of the Crocs twice out of their two head-to-heads already.
Here's the lineup tonight. Some different matchups. I'll never get tired of seeing excited Daniele Pinto. He's always fired up with his facial expression. He's coming off a great weekend in Myrtle Beach. And look, Ojo Onaolapo will forever be the player that won the very first ultimate golden point in MLTT history. Last time these two teams played a month ago in October, that golden game did go the distance, and Ojo with a great return on Sasha Hanen in that incredible moment in Myrtle Beach. But we see Sasha Hanen take the table first against Mark Duran as we get the evening session started. Curious what you think of this European battle between Spain's Mark Duran and Belarus's Sasha Hanen.
I think, Mark Duran is a player that really gets pumped up a lot. So a good player for the Crocs to have out first, but Sasha Hanen, for him being here in Chicago and in front of what is now his team's home crowd, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays and how that factors into this as well.
Mark Duran turned 37 in October from Barcelona. 12 times he's been a Spanish champion, 8 times in doubles, 3 times in singles, also once in mixed doubles. So far in MLTT, he's just 5-7 in singles as he takes the table in the first singles match tonight against Sasha Hanen, who is 8-7 so far in singles in MLTT. Reminder of the format: 4 singles matches, all 3 games to 11. It is not win by 2. If it's 10-all, it's 1 point to decide the game. 1 doubles match, 3 games to 11 as well, and it all climaxes with the golden game at the end of the night. That's a couple hours away. For now, sit back and enjoy. Hanen in front 1-0. Sasha, 25 years old.
Great serve return by Duran.
So there are 20 points on the table, the standings, separating these two teams coming into tonight. So you would think, well, Florida's clearly been the superior team. Entering tonight, Chicago has won 5 more singles games than Florida, which is hard to believe when you think about how dominant Florida has been. But it's been doubles, and it's been the golden game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just comes down to a couple of points in the golden game. I mean, Chicago win could be 2-0 against the Florida Crocs if a couple of points had gone more in their favor in the golden games.
In fact, both times these two teams played, the team score going into the golden game was 8-7.
Yeah.
Both Goldens went to Florida. Pretty good response there from Sasha Hanen. get into the teeth of this match, Matt, and really Daniel Gorak and Damian Provost are going to be huge factors for their respective teams. Both guys playing doubles match and the mixed doubles match, and then meeting in the fourth singles match right before the Golden Game.
Yeah, definitely. And they're kind of in a similar position to Enzo, kind of holding that team leadership role, the experience. And
Gorak and Provost have not played against each other yet in a singles match. Played doubles a couple times, just once actually. Five all.
Duran getting really good acceleration and quite compact strokes.
How would you contrast these two players stylistically?
I think Duran's a little bit quicker, but Hanen's strokes have a little bit more variety, I guess.
Did one of these two guys have an edge coming into this match, or did you look at it as pretty 50-50?
I feel like it's pretty even. Yeah.
Duran with a good hit.
Yeah, I think if Duran gets going, his attacking game has a little bit more bite to it. So.
Right on cue.
Yeah, so
Takes a chomp out of Hanen.
the Florida Chomp. They're going to end up changing their team name at this rate.
Well, they started the chomping motion mimicking the Florida Gators down in Daytona Beach. And I did confirm gators and crocodiles both chomp. In case you were worried about that.
How did you go about confirming that?
I have my ways. My zoologist is always on call. Game one to Mark Duran. 11-7, and Florida strikes first tonight.
Yeah, Duran's looking pretty confident out there. And again, has those kind of short, sharp, compact strokes, gets a lot of acceleration in a short space of time. And if he's on and his shots are on, then he does get a good amount of acceleration and a good amount of power. You can see Hanen struggling a little bit to control things. Setting up a few too many opportunities for Duran to attack more. And he's kind of a 1-2 punch, Duran. It's like one shot's in, and then as soon as the next one comes back, he's looking to finish it. So there are a couple of things that Hanen can do. He can either get in first and try and put Duran on the back foot, or he's got a counter attack off the first ball. Try not to give Duran an opportunity to follow up as strong.
Duran up 1-0 to none, serving to begin game two.
Great counters from Duran.
Yeah, he's locked in.
So he uses that backhand punch shot so effectively as well.
What makes that backhand punch tough to handle?
Honestly, it's almost the lack of spin on it. It comes directly at you, and a lot of the time, if there's topspin, it's easier to block. Sometimes when a player punches the ball, it can almost have like a little bit of a backspin effect as well. So it can be quite an awkward ball. And obviously, it's also very fast and very direct at the same time.
Hanen gets on the board here in game 2, but a deep ditch to dig his way out of after trailing 5-0. We did see Roman Lorenz fall behind Toro against Jinxin Wang and come back and win a game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with table tennis. When you're playing games to 11, a couple of changes can change everything. I've seen players come back from 10-0 down to win games 12-10 before. And all you have to really remember is if you get into a situation where your opponent has ended up 8-0, if they can do it, then so can you.
Yeah. 4 straight for Hanen. Duran stops the run and stays in front. Last 2 times that Florida played Chicago, Mark Duran was the inactive player. So this is his first time facing Hanen, first time facing the wind. Got some new matchups to be excited about tonight. How about that? Catching the edge with authority.
That's how he started this match as well. Quite an authoritative forehand flick there. Hanen almost looks a little tentative on those opening loops.
Matt, later tonight when Daniel Gorak and Damian Provost battle for the first ever meeting in MLTT in a singles match for those 2 first-round picks.
Definitely a match to look forward to, that's for sure.
Nothing tentative about that.
Well, he's going to want to do a lot more of that. But if he does, then this second game is still within grasp for him.
It's an awesome answer from Mark Duran. Set up more game points. That'll do it for game 2. Mark Duran with a strong opening statement to begin this evening match against Chicago. 11-7 and 11-6.
That's why you'll see the players sometimes wiping their hands on the table near the net. They're drying their hands.
Yeah, he's definitely looking quite confident out there, and certainly in a good position to give the Florida Crocs a great start here in this match.
It doesn't have the usual topspin that the players are used to, that they use to make sure their shot.
So I gave the stat earlier, but I'll mention it again. In the East Division, when a player has gone up 2-0, that player that's up has only won game 3 half the time. This is in 25 team matches. It's happened quite a bit.
Flip a coin then.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what it is. Compared to the West, where 3 out of 4 times, almost, the player that's gone up 2-0 completes the sweep. I mean, my inclination, and I might be way off, is just that there's some more experienced European players that, you know, kind of dig in and don't get beaten down mentally by being down 0-2, but I could be off.
You know, I think the Europeans have much more of a team mentality. I mean, obviously in the US, there are really not that many team tournaments, and it's a very individualized, very individual sport here, which is what a league like this is hoping to kind of change the story on. So the idea that you're not in it for yourself, you know, having lost the match, or being, you know, maybe losing 2-1, it doesn't matter. The fact that you can still have a chance to win a point for your team, that means something to them.
Yeah. I mean, the math, obviously, 3-0, 2-1 is a huge, huge difference in how the evening plays out ultimately. Definitely a little bit of a smudge on the table. The point of the night so far.
The amount of just weird shots coming from Duran to get the ball back on the table. And Hanen just handled himself so well in that point. So steady against chops. I don't know, there might have been like a two-handed backhand in there as well. There's a snake shot. Yeah.
After the longest rally of the match, the shortest rally of the match follows. And Duran able to take both his points on his serve to reassert himself up 5-3 as the players will switch sides here in game 3. Hanen trying to avoid getting swept.
You can see when Hanen has a little bit more time to build up the acceleration. He's playing some great forehands out there. Question is whether Duran's going to give him the time that he needs.
Sasha Hanen has never been swept in a singles match in MLTT. 5 matches, he's won at least 1 game in all of them. That streak is certainly on the line here, with Duran 4 points away.
Backing off the table a little bit in these last couple of points. Certainly not where he wants to be if he's going to take all 3 games here. I mean, great shot directly into the body of Duran.
7-all here in game 3. And Hanen surges in front. Yo! 8-8. Brosier and Pinto are up next. here for Hanen to create some game points. It'll be 10-8 or 9-9 going back to Duran's serve. It'll be 10-8.
Hanen's certainly done a much better job of driving Duran back off the table in this third game. Has made all the difference for him.
And once again, here in the East Division, after a player falls behind 0-2, they battle back. Not over yet, though. Return wide, 10-9. One more serve for Duran. Hard not to smile after a point like that. Excellent defense, but better offense from Duran. Golden point here in game 3. Duran seeks a sweep. Hanen trying to get the wind on the board here at home. Did that catch? No, it did not. Hanen wins game 3, 11-10. For a split second, I thought they weren't sure if that ball caught. And Duran could not believe it missed. Oh, it caught the net. And Duran in disbelief as Hanen able to get a point for his team. Mark Duran still gets 2 points for Florida, and he puts the headset on. Mark, it looked like from your reaction you thought that final forehand was going to be good.
Start leading in the third, and when you lose like this last set, you won the match, but you feel a little bit that you lost a chance. But it was a good match, and I'm happy about that. It
felt like you were pretty locked in from the opening points of game 1. How are you feeling out there?
I was feeling that we start both quite nervous. Maybe a little bit hard to start, but I feel he make more mistakes, and I start to play better. And in the end, he started to play a little better, and then he take the third set.
And for you, being in this position where you're going out first for the team, how is that for you? Is that a little bit of pressure, or does that give you confidence?
Yeah, always. Normally I like to start the matches, but also when it's the first match of the weekend, you are also a little bit more stressed, you don't feel the conditions still so much, so you are a little bit more nervous about that, but it was okay.
Did Coach Arias have any message to the team coming into this particular weekend?
Oh, he's very nice. We are a team that we are very good environment in the team, very quiet the team, and I feel we are very comfortable, all the players in the team, and this is very important.
One more thing, Mark. Going back to September, when the chomp really kind of took off, how did that bring the team together and kind of give you guys an energy about you?
Yeah, it's good to feel one sign to make, because we are players from all over the world. Some we know each other, some not so much, but we make very nice team spirit with the Crocs thing, with everything, and we are very happy all together, a nice feeling everyone, and that's one of the reasons why we are leading the table.
Good start tonight, Mark. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
2 out of 3 for Mark Duran against Sasha Hanen. Hanen able to battle back and get the golden point in game 3. I'm really excited for the second singles match. I think both these guys can play at a really high level. They both can play really exciting table tennis. I'm curious to hear your thought, especially in the aftermath of what we saw from Daniele Pinto in October when he went 6-0 in singles.
Well, I tell you one thing, Daniele Pinto has been almost the surprise of the league, the way that he's come out and played these matches. And, I mean, Brosier is just fantastic forehand player. So you have 2 players that both have amazing skill sets. I can tell you one thing that might shift the difference here in this match for me. Just over a week ago, Daniele beat Sun Wen, a Chinese national team player, in a WTT tournament, and that is an enormous result for him. So I'm very interested to see how that affects his play here. And
Brosier with the first big swing. I mean, would you characterize that win last week for Pinto? I mean, what in your mind does that mean for his career, the way he's perceived, his internal confidence?
It's huge. I mean, it's really unexpected. The players that are capable of beating Chinese national team players are the top Europeans, very top Europeans. So that win is, yeah, really huge for him.
You said to me earlier today off the air that if you haven't played against the best in China, you haven't played against the best.
That's, yeah, totally true. And if you can beat them, then that's something else on top as well.
3-all now. Pinto takes both points on Brosier's serve. That's a chance to take his first lead of this game right here. Pinto was inactive the last time these two teams played.
He's really been a kind of golden goose for the team, especially in the singles.
Third round draft pick for Coach Eric Owens. Five straight points after Brosier took a 3-1 lead.
Brosier looking to get him with those step around forehands.
Oh, goodness. What can you do about that?
I mean, if you even see that coming, then credit to you. But in terms of being able to deal with it, that's...
Remarkable stuff from Benjamin Brosier.
The Superman dive.
We're going to need the extra super slow-mo replay to relive.
How did he get back up from that? Look at that.
He braced himself with both hands after he hit the ball back on the table and was ready to take the point. Incredible. I told you I was excited for this match, Matt. 7-5, 2 straight for Brosier after Pinto had won the previous 6. I don't think we're done with the twists and turns just here in game number 1. Two serves for the Frenchman. Brosier within 1. Benjamin represented France in the 2016 Olympics in Rio. '29-year-old. One more serve, trying to tie this thing up 7-all. Good deep return from Pinto.
See the audience getting a little rowdy for Chicago here. Great quality in the forehand attacks here from Pinto.
Look, we've seen the home court mean different thing to different teams. Florida Crocs certainly use it to their advantage down in Daytona Beach. Texas Smash struggled in Houston a couple weeks ago in the West Division. So Pinto won the big point at 7-6, and now he's got 5 game points, the first 2 on Brosier's serve. Pinto takes game 1.
Very sharp forehands from Pinto.
Alrighty, Chicago win. It seems like that thunder stomping and the towels up here making that win. There's just power.
He got off to a little bit of a shaky start in September, but my goodness, has he turned it around. Pinto now has won his last 7 games, dating back to the weekend in Myrtle Beach. But let's go back to the shot of that first game
I
from
still
Benjamin Brosier.
just haven't figured out how he got back up. Not necessarily in time to get the next ball back, but the next ball that he hit was actually really, really good quality. Like, look at the quality on this forehand and the balance after being on the ground. Solid.
Do you think
That ball by Pinto was so close to ruining his day.
did Pinto make a mistake not taking the ball off the dive with the backhand and running around it and giving Brosier a little bit more time to get up? Obviously, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in a situation like that, it's such an unexpected reaction to a ball that your first instinct is probably, I better make sure I don't miss this one.
You don't have diving shots sprawling out on the floor and then the rally continues and then you win the point very often.
No.
That is rare.
So Linda Leaf on that first serve there, just wanting Daniele not to cover the ball with his shoulder.
What a point.
Just quick exchanging.
Heavy hitting.
Brosier's got to start getting those, a few more of those forehand third ball attacks in.
It's a big game here for Brosier. His singles record is not great. He's exciting. He's in a lot of games. He shows the weapons. He's clearly got some superpowers, but at the end of the day, singles, MLTT, he's 6-13 at this moment.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough game style when you're used to trying to cover a lot of the table with your forehand. As your career goes on, it gets tougher and tougher to cover the whole court. I mean, I talked about this with someone earlier today. The last time I saw Brosier was in 2015, and he was using short pimple rubber on his backhand. So, for the most part, playing quite short, compact strokes on the backhand and relying on his forehand a lot. But yeah, I mean, when you get closer towards 30, playing full table forehand is really hard, especially against a young opponent and a quick opponent like Pinto.
Why does someone go from using the short pips 8 years ago to what he's doing now?
I think sometimes it can just get a little bit restricting. You can't produce as much spin with them. You can't necessarily play as aggressively with them. And a lot of change back then with the ball changing a bit too. So.
Ooh, Brosier tried to go behind the pack. Good reflexes in the front row. Van made a one-handed snag on this ball that found the crowd. I'll take that.
He had his phone in the other hand too.
Yeah.
bit more power over the table there from Brosier. Yeah, he needs to get in off the serve.
And to speak to the point I'm trying to make about Brosier, well, his singles record is what it is. In the Golden Games, he has won exactly as many points as he's lost, so he has not been a liability in the Golden Game. In the big moments, he's had some big shots.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly got firepower. It's just a matter of positioning and setting the ball up well.
6-all. Pinto continues to chisel away here. And again, the fact that Brosier is getting his paddle on the ball while leaving his feet is impressive, but it also shows he's in a disadvantageous position overall on the point. Brosier needed that one. We're 2-all on the team tally. 8-7 lead for Pinto. Game 2, second singles.
Just clean counters on the forehand from Pinto.
Daniele went 1-5 in singles in September in his MLTT debut. He was not happy about it. And since then, he has become a dynamo. He is 1 point away from making it 8 straight games won at the MLTT level. And that'll do it. 11-6 and 11-7. Clean, calm, and composed. Daniele Pinto keeps it rolling.
I'll tell you one thing, the way that he plays is quite different from everyone else. You really, at this level of table tennis, would not expect to see that many long serves. You know, a lot of players, when they serve long, it's risky. You know, if you do it too much or you do it at the wrong time, you're giving the other person a chance to attack early. But he gets a nice little topspin kick on the ball and follows up on it really well. So some great long serve and forehand connections for Daniele Pinto.
I asked Sean O'Neill this question. I don't know if you heard the answer. I'm going to ask you again. Compare the answers. If you're serving, generally, what percentage of your serves do you want to send long versus keep short? What's the ratio you're looking for?
Generally, it depends. It does depend a little bit on who you're playing, but in terms of long, fast serves, I'd probably be serving like 5% or less. So yeah, to see this percentage of long, fast serves is rare, but it works so extraordinarily well for him. And if it works, you keep doing it, right? So Brosier has a job to neutralize the effectiveness of those serves. And
there was a time when baseball pitchers would throw first pitch fastballs and want to throw their first pitch fastball and establish it, but you don't expect a first pitch changeup or a first pitch curveball. He's winning every which way right now.
Getting some really nice angles too. Has switched up the service game a little. More short pendulum serves in there. Still going for the more topspin variations.
Lead here in game 3 for the Italian. hear the groan as he hit it. Oh, Brosier catches an edge. Will that shift the momentum here in game 3? We'll take it. And a service error. Suddenly, that's 3 in a row for Brosier. Need I remind you the success East Coast players have had after going down 0-2?
Just in case you were wondering, guys, Evan's going to have a novel out about this by next week.
At this exact moment, in the East Division, players who are down 0-2 have won more game 3s than they've lost, just in the East Division. Not by many, but by 1. This is after what Sasha Hanen did against Mark Duran. I just think that's really interesting. Especially in contrast to the West Division, where players have won only 1 out of 4 games when they've been down 0-2. Anyway, nothing decided here in game 3 between Pinto and Brosier. That'll help the cause for the Crocs. Confident forehand from the Frenchman. Another good deep serve.
Right into the elbow.
Had Brosier off balance immediately. Brosier wins both points on his serve. 8-6 lead here. Back to Pinto's paddle. Tremendous table tennis.
Saved the best point for when he needed it the most. Just doubled down on that. That's a great play. Having the confidence to move up in the middle of that rally and really take command of the table made all the difference for Brosier there.
Inconsistency, though, continues to plague him. Had a chance to close out this game on his serve. Now the best he can do is get it to 10-8 with the ball going back to Pinto. Huge point right here. 9-all. Brosier trying to fire himself up. 9-9. And that's 3 in a row for Daniele, with a chance to complete the sweep right here on his serve. And playing it home, Daniele Pinto picks up 3 points for the hometown Chicago Wind. from 1-5 in Daytona Beach in singles. He's won his last 3 matches, all 3 games to love. That was a hard-fought, hard-earned win against his fellow European, Benjamin Brosier. Daniele, well done. Congratulations. That was intense. Felt like you were locked and loaded pretty quickly. How'd you feel out there today?
I feel good. In the last month, I had really good results around Europe. I played one WTT in Slovenia, where I beat one good Chinese. And also in Italian league, I'm playing good. So really happy about my performance today. I feel really confident.
From where you were in September to where you are now, how much has your confidence grown in the past couple months?
A lot, really. After Daytona, I was so sad because my expectation was so high. And now I'm really happy for how the things are going in the last few months. So,
and
well.
Speaking of that win against Sun Wen, how did that make you feel coming into this? I mean, obviously that win for you is huge. And so you must have felt so confident in your game coming back here.
Yeah, well, I really didn't expect to win Sun Wen. Before the match against him, I was checking some video on YouTube and I saw that he won Arimoto, Darko Jogic, so I got in the table really afraid. But then I tried to play free, to play my game, and he really didn't like that. So that match gave me a lot of confidence.
You were down 9-7 in game 3 here against Benjamin, and you scored the final 4 points. What was the key to closing out that match and getting the sweep?
I think in the last points, he changed a little bit the service. He tried to serve more straight, and I missed 2 or 3 receives. So I said, okay, just push the ball and go to play the point. And it was good.
Daniele, well done. Fun watching you battle. Get some rest. We'll see you in the Golden Game in a little bit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Daniele Pinto starts his Chicago weekend with 3 points for the Chicago Wind. Mixed doubles time. The team of Gorak and Ekholm have been excellent. They're 12-6 overall, as we see Provost and Tan as well. They have not been as strong in doubles, in part because they've had to go up against Gorak and Ekholm a couple of times.
Emily Tan, definitely a fierce competitor. And then in contrast, you have Matilda, who's a seasoned veteran of both singles and doubles in this sport.
And it's also our first look tonight at Gorak and Provost, who are the first round draft picks of their respective teams. We'll see them play in singles later, but it's doubles. With Gorak and Provost on the opposite sides of the table first. Tan to serve.
So this is the same combination that we saw back in week 1 with these 2 teams. I think Gorak and Ekholm won the first 2 games fairly comfortably. And Tan and Provost winning the third, as per your probabilities model.
Just another example. The East Division teams collectively faring better than you might expect after being down 0-2, and an apologetic score there for Damien Provost. 39-year-old from France.
Tan getting pushed all the way across to a short forehand there. And you can see now what they were trying to do the first time. Crossing Tan over.
Good winner there for Ekholm.
This is a very common strategy when you're playing against right and left-handed doubles combinations, is to try and get the partners to cross in front of each other in the corner.
4-3 lead for Gorak and Ekholm. Matt, by any chance last night, were you at home watching the Iowa-Virginia Tech women's basketball game?
No.
I didn't think
Thanks
you
for
were.
asking.
But Matilda Ekholm popped into my mind during that game because Virginia Tech women's basketball has a player from Sweden. His name is Matilda Ek.
Oh.
E-K-H. Distant cousins, perhaps. Formerly played at Michigan State, now transferred to Virginia Tech. It's a great game last night. Caitlin Clark dropped 44. You haven't seen Caitlin Clark play basketball yet? I know you're not a huge...
I watched some table tennis, but not really. Not really basketball.
I'm going to show you some Caitlin Clark highlights, and you are going to be amazed. 6-4 lead now for Gorak and Ekholm. Ekholm from Sweden now lives in New York City. It's interesting because she's gone 6-3 in doubles in both weekends with her and Gorak, 12-6 overall. She struggled a little bit in the Golden Game in Daytona Beach, but in Myrtle Beach in October, she was unreal in Golden Game. She went 15-6, and really that was the reason Florida finished the weekend in first place. 8-4 lead now for Gorak and Ekholm. This dynamic doubles duo, and like we've seen Gorak and Ekholm play together in every match. We've seen Angles and Hong Lin play together in now 6 of 7 matches for Carolina. The consistency that they've developed has been huge. Meanwhile, Chicago and Princeton continue to mix and match who's playing with who in doubles, trying to find a combination that can produce more winners like that from Emily Tan.
Emily Tan, definitely a player that can hit a hard forehand ball. You can see Gorak really taking some risks here to get that ball right onto the forehand edge there. And Gorak's experience playing well to their hand here in the first game.
11-5 to the Crocs. Pretty typical, pretty convincing. You were talking earlier tonight about how you felt Angles and Lin, how their games kind of mesh well to play doubles. Do you feel similarly about Dan and Matilda?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it's, you feel like they're on the same wavelength with each other. And, you know, they have very similar career paths. And Daniel, obviously, growing up and playing in Poland and being a professional player in Poland. And then you have Matilda, who's in Sweden. Now both of them are here in the US. Daniel having obviously moved to Florida. But they just have so many years of similar experiences behind them. So I definitely feel like they gel together well as a team.
Gorak, 22 years on the Polish national team. 5 times he was national champ in Poland. Ekholm competed in the 2016 Olympics in Rio. 7-time she was the nationals singles champion in Sweden. National champ in doubles on 9 different occasions, which is pretty ridiculous. 9 times, Mrs. Bueller.
She has so many different weapons that she can use that they just fit so well for doubles. She has very good touch, very good ability to change the ball direction, add kind of unorthodox spins to the ball and things like that.
I still don't know, like I get why they apologize after it catches the edge, But like when I'm playing and I catch an edge, I celebrate. I'm so excited. I return hit the
It's not
table.
going to make you any friends in this sport. It will at your local club. Great play back from the table by Gorak.
Emily Tan bringing the heat.
Yeah, I mean, she can hit winners. She can probably hit the hardest out of the four of them. It's just a matter of whether Provost can get her set up for those shots, whether she can get her feet in place.
Emily Tan just turned 17 in September. Senior at high school in Milpitas, California.
I just had a conversation with her the other day about how quickly time's going by. I was fortunate enough to have the chance to go to the World Cadet Challenge as her coach with the ITTF Hopes team back in 2019. And so when she told me she was going to college next year, I thought, where did time go?
What kind of player was she at 13?
Temperamental, but I'll tell you one thing about Emily Tan. She's the player that you want to have on your bench. If you're playing a match, she gets so hyped up for the team, on the table and on the bench, then and now.
That's cool. Oh, what a shot there. Tan goes cross court, and a lunging Gorak could not reach it.
Great early timing on that ball, great angle. Provost has got to put a little bit more pressure on.
And this is a big moment in this team match for the Chicago win. And they don't want to just cede 3 points in doubles and fall behind again.
Gorak and Ekholm looking very determined here. Great forehand opening there by Tan. Good follow-up from Provost.
Seven up. The volume of the celebrations are getting louder, which tells you something about how much these players value each of these points.
More great openings from Emily Tan. Look at that backhand loop. Solid play.
Eight all.
A little bit caught out of position.
Gorak and Ekholm have talked a lot about their mental toughness, their combined experience, Ability to handle these big moments. And yet again, the Crocs doubles team with some clutch shot making to set up game points. Not over yet.
Really feels like Emily's the one taking most of the initiative on the Chicago win side.
Yeah, which is not all that common in mixed doubles. 10-10. It'll be Gorak to serve. Adam Bobrow getting the crowd fired up. And the Crocs do it again. No!
Emily 10 cuts that ball back inside the table. That's huge. Genuinely, I feel like she earned that so much. Fantastic second game there from Emily 10.
And there's no question about it. And that last shot that she made flummoxed Gorak. It's a sense of relief for Provost and Tan with the body language of, yeah, she expected that, coming from 10-8 down.
So great stability still here from Gorak and Ekholm, but Emily Tan was the aggressor really in this second game, making some really positive forehand drives, solid openings against the long backspin balls.
Time.
She really kind of brought the level of the pairing up and carried them home at the end of that second game. She should be pretty happy with her performance in that second game, and she can bring more of that to game 3. We'll see how that goes. Of course, they're going to change the serving order a little bit, so.
Emily technically at the bottom of the MLTT power rankings coming to this weekend, but that comeback win will help Gorak and Ekholm due to their doubles performances and Golden Game performances. They're 2 of the top 11 players right now in the MLTT power rankings. You can see all the stats, mltt.com/stats. Shouldn't say all the stats, some of the stats. Some of the stats are proprietary play-by-play announcer creations that you have to tune into the broadcast to hear.
Good start here for the Crocs.
By the way, I'm not sure if our colleague Sean O'Neill has been jibber-jabbering in the comments tonight, but you know, I think
I don't want to look.
you may not realize this, Matt, but I think you hold the record for most YouTube comments in a single night of an MLTT stream. But Sean's coming for you this weekend. I know that for a fact. He's coming for you. Of course, I look forward to listening to you and Sean next weekend out west.
It's been a while. It's been quite a while. So I'm looking forward to that little reunion as well.
A couple old crusty former USATT communications directors communicating.
Crusty is accurate. I shouldn't say that for Sean.
5-2 lead for Gorak and Ekholm as they switch sides, and they'll switch the rotation as well. See if Tan and Provost can use the rotation switch to gain a little momentum back. Big forehand from Gorak. This may be a silly question. How does playing a doubles match either prepare you to play a singles match coming up, or perhaps adversely prepare you to take the table for singles?
I don't think it would affect you adversely. If anything, it's just keeping your racket warm, hitting some shots, going through the motions. I mean, it's always going to help you going into a singles match warm, whether you've played singles or doubles before it. So, yeah, being on the table is always good than coming off the bench cold. Ekholm doing a good job of finding Tan's backhand.
No doubles team in the league has a better mental game than Gorak and Ekholm. Both in their ability to stay focused and locked in, not ride the roller coaster of emotions, but also, as you said, the shot placement. Knowing the scouting report of their opponents and taking advantage of their weaknesses. (10-3). Five. Six. Chicago Wind fans stomping their feet, waving their towels, trying to envision a thrilling comeback here. 10-7.
Only 10 again.
Timeout, Crocs. 4 consecutive game points saved, and Frank Arias wants to have a chat.
I'm a little surprised. I feel like you only have one timeout. One timeout or two? Only 2 timeouts.
Nobody behind me right now, nothing to see here. Keep on
Yeah. Are you trying to say that you would have trusted Gorak and Ekholm to finish that?
I would have, personally.
I like him taking it at 10-7 on Provost serve rather than waiting maybe to 10-8 if the serve had gone back to the other side.
Well, he's probably hoping it's not going to be 10-8. Yeah, from a logical standpoint, you're in a tight game here. I mean, they need to win this, so yeah, usually if your opponents, you're in a position where you should be finishing the game out and your opponents win a few points in a row, then generally a timeout's warranted.
Overheated by Ekholm, and from down 10-3, it's a 2-point game. We have seen some wild comebacks, but I don't believe we've seen someone score 8 in a row after trailing 10-3 yet in Major League Table Tennis. They caught a break with a net ball, and Gorak mishits the forehand, and just like that, the Chicago fans are on their feet here in Bedford Park.
The look on Damian Provost's face right now says it all.
That'll do it. Tan can't believe she left the return short. Ekholm and Gorak able to escape.
That's probably a massive relief for them.
A nervy finish to be sure, but Ekholm and Gorak have won 2 out of 3 games they've played all season long, and they go 2 out of 3 again here against Chicago on Friday night in Illinois. Matilda Ekholm will pop the headset on and have a chat. Matilda, 2 out of 3 again for you and Daniel, but things got a little nervy there down the stretch. What's going through your mind on the serve at 10-9?
I mean, I knew we have a good chance if I just serve not too short. So because whenever I serve too short, they can place the receive everywhere. But if the serve is a little bit more half long, then they can almost only give Daniel sort of half long or high short. So that's what they did. I don't know. Emily was playing fantastic, really. So whatever we did, she was just so aggressive, and yeah, I'm very happy we managed to win the third game.
Yeah, the second game, but did you find it really surprising that Emily was the one who was coming out and initiating the points and making the attacks? I mean, for you guys, did it become more strategic for you to put the pressure on Damian than it was on Emily?
Yeah, I mean, we played them before, and it was different. Emily was missing a lot more that time. So today she really excelled, and I think that took us a little bit by surprise. Yeah, like she's getting better every time. So.
How much confidence do you and Daniel have as a pairing with all the chemistry that you've been able to develop together over the past couple of months?
Yeah, we feel very comfortable playing next to each other. So I think our energy levels match pretty well. Also, Daniel's a lot more calm than I am, and that brings me down a little bit, and maybe I can pump him up a little bit. So I think we're really good doubles pair, and I think we're just gonna get better and better.
Externally, you look pretty calm serving at 10-9. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I felt confident. I knew, like I said, that if I just don't serve too short, then I think we're gonna make it.
Good stuff. We'll get back to singles. We'll see you in the Golden Game, Monty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ekholm and Gorak make it 2 out of 3 again, as we transition back to our final 2 singles matches of the night, starting with the Nigerian Ojo Onalapo and the American Dan Liu. These 2 guys played a month ago in Myrtle Beach. Ojo won the first game in dominant fashion, 11-3, but Dan Liu responded and won games 2 and 3. So Liu has a little momentum coming into tonight.
Yeah, and of course he's back here playing penhold again, so I spoke with him a little bit earlier when I got here and asked him how he felt about switching back to penhold, and he's still not entirely sure. He said we'll see how tonight goes. So. Great rotation on the first ball from Dan Liu.
Dan Liu took 2 out of 3 against Ojo. It was the first time he had lost a singles match in MLTT. 4 opportunities. He went 5-1 in singles across 2 matches in Daytona. He was 2-1 against Daniele Pinto in September against the Crocs.
Oh, wow.
Against the Pinto, I should say, excuse me.
Cut that wide angle perfectly down to the corner there. So Ojo's going to be out here looking for a bit of vengeance, sounds like.
Ojo was in Houston a couple weeks ago. He lives in that area now, so he came to watch some MLTT West Division action.
Maybe he was doing some research for the cross.
That certainly was true. Supporting his countryman, Olajide Omatayo. Fun all-African battle we had between Omatayo and El-Sayed Lachine a couple weeks ago. That ball ricocheted our way, and
You feel in danger?
Our trusty audio guy over here, E6. I don't feel in danger. I'm excited. Wish I brought my baseball glove.
So Dan serve a little bit loose there. Ojo is really a strong power player, especially on the forehand. And if you give him any ball that's going long, even if it's just going over the table edge, you're going to deal with either a lot of power or a lot of spin. Case in point.
So the MLTT power rankings are a bit of a work in progress, still honing the algorithm, figuring out how to weigh singles versus doubles versus golden game versus ranking, etc. But with all that said, Ojo Onaolapo was drafted in the 7th round of the MLTT draft. He's currently number 5 on the MLTT power rankings, behind 4 top picks in Cole, Enzo Angles, Daniel Gorak, and Damian Provost. And then it's Ojo. That's how good he's been so far. And he takes game 1 over Dan Liu here, 11-5.
I'll tell you one thing, he's a good value pick for Fantasy League.
Comes out again. He used to play for Nigeria, the national team at the Commonwealth Games, was a medalist for Nigeria. Very strong. And then he comes out here.
Fantasizer.com for a chance to win cold, hard cash. I didn't write that, but I like it.
Here's some free food. Here's some nice jewelry. Come play for us.
I'm just in it for cold hard pride because there's no cash coming my way.
I just want to beat Sean O'Neill, really, because I mean, I'm never going to let him forget it.
That's all that's in it for us.
Yeah, really. The interesting thing, I think you and I were comparing our rosters.
We're close, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Fairly
just a couple key differences. And not to, I think the differences were I had Ojo and Pinto and you didn't. Does that sound right?
I can't remember now. We've just been notified that Sean's in the chat, so.
Yeah, your record for most comments in a single night is
It's
in jeopardy.
Well, it's gone. If we keep talking about Fantasy League, it's out.
Well, so how could someone as intelligent as Sean O'Neill and as knowledgeable when it comes to table tennis perform so poorly? in the Houston, Texas weekend of fantasy. Do you have any theories on that?
No comment, Your Honor. let's get back to Ojo and Dan here.
Third singles match, game 2. Ojo Onaolapo just scored the 5th point of the night for the Crocs. We are tied 5-5 through the first 10 games. You said off the top, Matt, each of the last 2 times that Florida and Chicago squared off, it was 8-7. One way or another going into the Golden Game. Certainly has that feel again tonight.
Yeah, and of course, having the 21-19 and 22-20.
21-20.
21-20 Golden Games as well.
I will never forget Ojo Onaolapo's return winner against Sasha Hanen in the first ever ultimate Golden Point last month in Myrtle Beach. Because up to that point, we were kind of just wondering, like, are we ever going to get 2020? Like, you knew it was going to happen eventually, but we just didn't know when. And then all of a sudden it happened. And you know, both guys come back to the table. And for Ojo to return the serve with such tenacity, it was staggering. And it changed the weekend for both teams, changed the season. If Florida doesn't win that single point, they come into this weekend in 2nd place behind the Carolina Gold Rush.
Yeah.
That 1 point.
I mean, that's the exciting thing about this league, is that 1 point can make such a big difference. And
Exciting.
And
it's also cruel toward the loser.
Well, you know, such is life, right?
Yes, it is.
That's what puts you on the edge of your seat, that every point really does matter.
5-3 now to Ojo. Dan Liu was able to turn the tide the last time these 2 guys played. What would you like to see from Dan to try to replicate that 2nd game success he had in Myrtle Beach?
He's got to play a little bit tighter, I think. We've seen Ojo opening up quite strong. And when Ojo opens up strong, a lot of the time he also follows up strong, like you've seen just there. And so a lot of it's about neutralizing that first ball or trying to get him playing counters or maybe even blocking if possible. So, but you know, Dan looks like he's having some issues with his first openings. A little bit frustrated there. I mean, this is also, it's tough for him to be in this position where he started a league playing shakehand, and you know, he told me he was enjoying playing shakehand. You have a little bit more, you have more attacking options with your backhand to kind of swing through the ball a little more. But then, of course, he has his entire career of panhole behind him, and I guess now he's in this phase of maybe sometimes you second guess yourself of, should I have stayed shakehand? Should I be playing penhold? So there's a little bit of pressure from that as well, I think. But yeah, I mean, if he can get his forehand quality like that to start the point, his chances of winning the point go up significantly. So.
Boom. Strong finish from Onaolapo.
Good setup from Onaolapo for the counter. Top edges a little bit. That's a better play, better pressure from Dan Liu.
Ojo still up a couple, but Liu has 2 serves here. Try to really put the pressure on Ojo at 9-all.
Starting to do a better job of picking up those forehands over the table a little bit better. Better weight transfer.
Big forehand from Onalapo sets up a couple of game points on his serve. Year-old Nigerian looking to take a 2-0 lead. Missed it.
Got to admire the commitment to the tactic.
10-9.
Switch to the backhand serve here.
How about that? Changes up the tactic at 10-9 after he had been comfortably ahead. Liu fights back, but it's not enough. And Ojo takes the first 2 against Liu.
We actually saw when it was 10-8 that Coach Frank Urias was on the bench motioning for that backhand serve.
Good coaching tactic from Frank Arias from the Dominican Republic. I'm not sure if Frank told Ojo to go for it on the ultimate golden point
I mean,
about 4 weeks ago, but here it is, 20-all. Ojo going to the table against Sasha Hanen. Chicago's Hanen to serve. And Ojo didn't want to wait around. Kaboom!
I mean, that's the one thing that surprised me about Ojo being a 7th round pick. It's like this guy goes all in for everything. Like if you look at all of the matches that he's played, and even the first 2 games here, has he faltered or hesitated or played soft on any opportunity that he's had to attack?
Not once.
Crocs to serve, love all.
Yeah, I mean, that was not just a snapshot. That was a good representation of what he does. Now Lapo is 10-4 in singles in MLTT.
This is what separates levels of players. Is you can see already that he has a plan straight from the serve, and as soon as he realizes that plan's going to go well, he's in for the shot, 100% commitment, and his shot quality is really outstanding.
That was, I think, the great philosopher Mike Tyson that said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
That was a nice curveball.
Ojo has not really been punched in the face.
Metaphorically. Well, if there's going to be a metaphorical one, it will be a forehand like that one from Dan Liu. So he's going to need to do more of that. Dan just looking pretty unsettled out there throughout this match.
He's had his moments, but he's been inconsistent. And a much stronger performance in Myrtle compared to Daytona Beach. And look, we talked about it with Bastien DuPont earlier tonight. I mean, you can struggle in singles, but if you can take 3 out of 4 or deliver a golden sweep for your team in the golden game, that can be more impactful to the ultimate result. Timeout taken by Dan Liu's coach Eric Owens. And in the Golden game last month, Dan Liu played 12 points, won 8 of the 12. So he found a rhythm in Myrtle Beach late. The Californian in danger of getting swept by Onaolapo right here.
Right now, I'm going to get you telling your story. Go.
Ojo's got to feel pretty confident about his position here. He's been almost unstoppable throughout this match. Plenty of opportunities to get him with some powerful forehands.
All right, well, I think I'm not alone in saying, everybody, you agree that he made the right choice to be here today? Yeah.
Ojo trying to maintain his focus and finish off the sweep.
Here you are, the only place to be back from the timeout is 2-5.
Ojo got a 3-0 sweep over Jeremy Hazine in his MLTT debut back in September.
And Ojo continuing his run here.
Pretty good hitting both ways, but like most of the big points tonight, it's gone Ojo's way. Too straight for Liu. It's not a bad closing group for Frank Arias to have Ojo in the third singles spot, Dan Gorak in the fourth singles spot. Two guys in the top 5 in the MLTT power rankings entering the weekend.
Nice sharp backhand loop there from Dan Liu. Close to within 2 points here. It's really one of the first backhand attacks we've seen from Dan here in this match.
Just shake your head, the quality. Nothing Liu could do. Going to the backhand serve again.
It's a very deceptive serve.
Liu able to fight it off. Arias reading his lips, clapping his hands, said, good play, good play, good play. He liked the tactic, even though he didn't earn the point.
See, this is really an opportunity for Dan to attack. After the first ball was dropped short, this ball, you've got to take the initiative. It's a little bit high over the net, so surprising to see him try and redrop the ball. Just too many opportunities for Ojo to attack, and where Ojo's attacked, Dan Liu has had few answers in this match for him.
Sails it wide on his first sweep point. That'll close it out though. Ojo Onaolapo continues his remarkable run. MLTT singles.
Great confidence. I think he kind of set the mood from the beginning and just steamrolled through it and kept going. Didn't feel that Dan was able to adapt too much.
11-5, 11-9, and 11-7 as Onaolapo
Players,
outduels Dan Liu. Ojo, well done, my friend. Impressive stuff. How are you feeling out there on the table tonight?
I feel so good. You know, I played with him last time in South Carolina, which I was 1-0 up. Then I just lost focus. So I have it in my mind that this time I'm just going to take my time, just do what your coach told you to do, and just focus and be able to win 3 points for me. So I'm so happy to be able to do that.
Just watching that match was almost like watching a masterclass. You played so many great forehand loops with such good power. What was your focus on the serve and receive to allow you more opportunities to attack?
The last time I played with him, after I won the first game, he played a lot of short ball with me, which I couldn't be able to, to return the ball back. But when I get back, I'm like, okay, you just have to work on this, so that, because in my mind, I know they're going to play with him again. So I'm just like, okay, just work on your short ball and see what's going to happen. Then I'll be able to play a very good backhand today. Like, just keep it short. He's going to pop it up. Just play your backhand slowly, and it's going to work for you.
Ojo, we noticed your coach, Frank Arias, making the backhand motion to go with the backhand serve. What are you trying to do with the backhand serve to change it up?
I know that if I sign backhand service, I'll be able to get closer to the table. So, and I know a lot of Chinese players that don't like to play against backhand service, so I just keep it like that.
Good deal. Ojo, last thing, I don't think we've spoken to you since the ultimate golden point that you had a month ago against Sasha. I mean, how many times have you kind of relived that moment in your head to win that point the way you did?
I mean, it's a great moment. I keep watching it every time, and even put it on my Instagram. I'm like, okay, see what you did in 2020. I'm like, okay, because I'll be able to do that because I believe in my team. Like, no matter what, I just say, Ojo, just do what you have in mind, and I just go for it.
Maybe in about half an hour, it'll be you and Sasha again at 2020. You never know.
I will see about that.
Go rest up. Congrats on the 3-0 sweep, Ojo.
Thank you so much.
Ojo Onaolapo. Well-spoken and well played.
Yeah, for me, I think that match was, if there are left-handers out there watching, I think that was quite a pleasure to watch.
All right, the big guns in the fourth singles spot. These 2 first-round picks about to square off for the first time in a singles match in Major League Table Tennis. Daniel Gorak for the Florida Crocs and Damian Provost to serve for the Chicago Wind.
Now, it is very, very worth noting that 2 weeks ago, right here in Chicago, Daniel Gorak won a tournament and became the highest rated player in the US. So right now, he's the man to beat. Moved past Cole on the USATT rating list.
Does anything surprise you about what Daniel Gorak is doing at the age he's at, in his early 40s?
No, dude, look at him. He looks younger than me.
That's a great answer.
I'm going to send him an invoice for that later.
What, if anything, can Damian Provost do here to ruffle Daniel's feathers a little bit?
A lot. I mean, I feel like Damian's a very unsuspecting player. You know, sometimes you look at him and it doesn't look like he's doing much. But his ability and experience to play against players that are coming out of Europe that are this level is quite high. He's very tactful. He has a lot of experience over decades playing against top European players. And yeah, he's good at also staying close to the table and controlling and countering. So yeah, I mean, he's had some great matches here in MLTT as well to prove why he's a #1 draft pick.
Took 2 out of 3 from Enzo Angles on his 39th birthday last month.
Yeah.
To this day, that's the only time Enzo's lost a singles match.
Yeah, and pace comes into it so much as well. And you can see already, Gorak's a player that plays so quick. He plays close to the table and he plays quick shots. Damien, in contrast, is a player that tends to play at a slower pace, but he's very good at slowing players down. So there's potential for him to take Gorak out of his comfort zone by slowing the game down and maybe forcing some timing errors.
Gorak's gone 5-1 in singles against the Wind, but those were against Dan Liu and Sasha Hanen. Meanwhile, Provost has gone 5-1 in singles against the Crocs. That was against Brosier both times. And so it's cool that we get to see these top players go head to head here. There's been a vibe from coaches really across the league where they almost try to protect their top players. Matching up their A player with the opponent's B player. As a fan, I want to see the #1 guys square off. We saw that in October when Enzo and Gorak battled.
Crocs fans are here with their Florida Crocs shirts in the front row. Bucking the trend a little bit amongst these Chicago fans.
Have you ever seen a crocodile holding a ping pong paddle?
Do I even need to answer that question? How shocked would you be if I said yes?
You know,
it's Florida, right?
There's a lot of crazy stuff out there.
A lot of crazy stuff happens.
And how about this? Provost 9-5 lead on Gorak. These guys ranked 3 and 4 in the power rankings coming into tonight. That point goes to Gorak, but I think it's what you said. Provost's style is changing the rhythm on Gorak a little bit. Good serve. 9-5 to 9-7. Big serves for Damien Provost.
Good opening from the elbow to the elbow there. It's a great service placement towards the middle. Gorak doing a little better job of finding the elbow there. It's going to be a timeout.
If you were Eric Owens, what would you say to Damien Provost right now? It was 9-5, now it's 9-8.
I mean, he's got to stick to his guns. I think it's a lot of it's about placement for him. So you know he's very steady once he gets into the rally, but he doesn't want to let Gorak find opportunities to throw him off balance. So you know you can play a passive game, but you still have to put pressure on your opponent. So I think that's a key factor for Damien is staying in control, but putting some pressure behind every shot.
And now he's coaching your own Chicago Wind. It's Damien Provost with a 9-8 lead. It's getting tight here, guys. Yeah, let them know.
We've already seen 4 different games over the course of the evening go to Golden Point at 10-all. Might this be the 5th? Four straight for Gorak, and we're tied 9-all.
see Provost from that angle just backing off the table a little bit more and more as the point went on. He needs to hold his weight forward a little more.
5 straight for Gorak. Provost scratching his head, looking for answers. Gorak wants a new ball. What a comeback from Daniel Gorak. He trailed 9-5 and he scores 6 straight to take game 1.
You really felt towards those last handful of points that Gorak was the one who set the pace. I think in the beginning, Damien Provost had managed to slow it down a little bit. There were some timing errors from Gorak, but at the end, he adapted so well, getting those quick backhand openings in where Provost kind of played quite soft. I think the combination of speed and placement from Gorak on his first ball really helped him make strong follow-ups. I think Provost just a little bit too soft, a little bit too passive, maybe backed off the table a bit too much. So a well-earned first game there from Daniel Gorak.
Time.
This is game number 2. Daniel Gorak to serve with Damien Provost from Chicago winning.
Second game. Crocs to serve. Love all.
Gorak serves to start game 2. Went with a deep serve, and third shot attack was way too long. Snaps a 6 straight point sequence for Gorak.
A little bit of a lucky break on the net there from Provost. This time, Provost getting a little bit more assertive in the rally there, playing through his shots more.
Four straight.
Yeah, and we're seeing in the beginning of this game again that Damien's positioning himself where he's controlling the pace. That's slow. It's something that Gorak's not particularly fond of.
How did Gorak change it around last game? Oh, wow. 5-0 Damien.
I think in the last game, there are a lot of opportunities for Daniel to make those backhand openings, and they're really good quality first loops into the point. And I think Damien was a little bit soft on them. And that provided the perfect opportunity for Gorak to position himself and follow up. And he was basically winning those points with one opening, one follow-up. But I mean, Damien's strength is in variation. Sometimes he blocks slow. Sometimes he blocks with pressure. Sometimes he counters. And you never really know which one's coming. If you always know which one's coming, if you always know it's going to be a soft block, then you have the opportunity to adjust a little bit. just clips the outside corner of the table. It's about as close as you can get without missing.
No doubt that it hit. Provost pointed, Gorak pointed, but I still didn't see it on the replay.
We're seeing another momentum shift in the game here.
Provost catches a break. This will be a tough game for Damian Provost to go back and watch if he coughs up another 4-point lead. Gorak's a great player.
I mean, he probably won't watch it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
There's still time to change the story. He's got a 7-5 lead. Big fist pump there from Gorak. That ball almost clinked over the net. Became a lucky winner. Break goes Gorak's way that time.
Definitely won't be happy with that. Provost just carrying that ball.
What's the biggest reason for a player of Dan Gorak's caliber swinging and missing?
Just misjudgment. I mean, his
spin?
Reverse serve's quite awkward, so sometimes if the other person just kind of carries the ball, sometimes it can bounce a little strange. You can see Damian Provost just feeding off the pace. This is where he really comes into his own, is when he's being given pace and he makes those conscious decisions to kind of use that pace and throw it back.
So Provost had a 9-5 lead in game 1, couldn't hang on. He's got a 10-6 advantage in game 2. Can Provost close this one out? Yes, he can. Only takes him 1 game point here in game 2. And we've got an interesting rubber game coming up between these two big dogs, Damian Provost and Daniel Gorak.
11-6. The casual styles, he's up 6-1. Daniel Gorak comes all the way back.
The other thing that I start thinking about with just 1 game left before the Golden is the strategy that goes into the coaches creating the orders for the Golden games. And from watching from afar and seeing tonight, I mean, if you were a coach, what kind of things would you be thinking about in terms of maybe trying to manipulate the order to gain an edge?
It's tough. A lot of the time when you're doing orders for team matches, a big part of it is trying to, in your mind, figure out what order you think your opposition is going to put down. And it can be very hit or miss. The nice thing for them is that they get to go there and alternate their picks. So it's not like they're going away and selecting their 5 players and submitting them at the same time.
Right.
So that takes some of the pressure off them, but yeah, it can be a little hit or miss. But
what do you think about my crazy idea where the commissioner, instead of asking the coaches to pick an order, pulls a name out of a hat before each 4-point sequence, and that's who's up on the table next?
It's a little sloppy, Evan, but it would be interesting.
Sloppy and interesting. I have been called worse.
So Provost starts with the edge break there.
Good defense from Provost, but we're even 1-1. And you can make a pretty good case that Damian should be up 2-0 in this match. He let game 1 slip away. Who you leaning toward for game 3?
That's a good question. I was going to say it's tough to prove the case. I mean, you don't really know what would have happened in game 2 if Provost had won the first game, but Gorak is a momentum player, so I think he'll be able to adjust. I would expect him to be able to adjust. You can see there he's not committing to full pace. Sometimes he's playing a little bit slower. He's focusing more on positioning himself so that he can get a good quality shot in and then prepare for the next ball.
Oh, what a return. Provost catches the back corner.
Just such a solid counter game.
Got a little nod from Gorak. Respect. Another one. The cross-court winner from Damian Provost. 3-all. Reminder that the 2 Golden Games between Florida and Chicago have been decided by 1 point and by 2 points. And that 1 or 2 points could be determined by who wins this game. Whether Florida has a 1-point lead at the start of the Golden Game, or if Gorak wins, a 3-point lead at the start of the Golden Game. Good stuff from Provost.
Gorak going in heavy on that forehand counter. It was a great forehand counter, but Provost sometimes just has outstanding anticipation. Steps in to take the half-long ball, overshoots. It's a costly error for him at this stage of the match.
Gorak back within 1. These 2 top players, 2 of the top 4 in the power rankings. And 3 weeks from tonight, we'll see these 2 guys go against West Division opponents for the first time. They'll be in Rock Hill, South Carolina on that first day. Florida will take on Seattle. Chicago will play Portland and the Bay Area Blasters on that first Friday. Saturday, Florida will play Texas and the Blasters. It's going to be a wild weekend, and that's a tremendous forehand winner. Puts Provost back up by 1.
This is exactly the kind of match you would expect from these 2 guys. Gorak again going for that angle with his forehand and just missing the table.
Yeah, Damian has been like 5% more solid, I feel like. And that feels like it might be the difference, which we shall see. apology, but a point. 9-6. Timeout, Florida. Gorak will take a breather, get a little hydration. Provost 2 points away from taking 2 out of 3 and getting the win back within 1. If Provost can close it out, it'll be the 3rd straight team match between Florida and Chicago. That'll be 8-7 one way or another going into the Golden Game.
That forehand from Provost was just loaded. Nice little curve on it as well.
Which is why on the West Coast, when Collet, who is the top rated to my knowledge, was beaten by
Provost has played a solid match here
Collet dropped.
against Daniel Gorak.
Every single match you play counts. And this is the fastest way to earn points because everyone here is strong.
Time.
As far as the men here, I can't think of anyone below 2,500, let alone 2,550.
Both these guys, by the way, have been excellent in Golden Games. 2 of the best in the league. Entering this weekend.
Going to be interesting to see what happens if they face off against each other in the Golden Game.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't, but
1-1, 6-9, Crocs to serve.
as you would expect, players at the top of the power rankings are pretty good in the Golden Game. Provost has won 60% of his points in the Golden. Gorak 59%.
And again, Gorak going for those fine margin placements. Really trying to aim for the corners. Just missing his mark. 3 separate occasions this game.
Provost takes 2 out of 3 in the battle of the big dogs. Damien over Daniel, 2 games to 1.
It's a big result for Damien Provost. That's going to put some wind in the sails of the team.
I see what you did there. We shall see. It's 8-7. Florida will have the 1-point edge at the start of the Golden, but it does all come down to this. 6 points up for grabs.
And we're at 8-7 again. This is where we were both of the last 2 encounters between these 2.
Florida needs to win this to stay in first place atop the East Division standings. Otherwise, it will be Carolina that enters Saturday's action atop the pack. Strong performance from Damien Provost. Takes game 2, 11-6. Game 3, 11-6. Now, MLTT Commissioner Flint Lane.
Okay, we got Crocs up 8-7 against the Chicago Wind. They'll be starting with a 1-point lead. Chicago Wind, you pick the first player. Sasha Hanen will be your first player. Coach? Mark Duran, you're number 1. Number 2. Danielle Gorak, you're number 2. Who's your number 2, Coach? Damien Provost, number 2. You're 3. Daniele Pinto, number 3. You're 3. Ojo Ona-Alapo, you're 3. You're 4. Benjamin Brosier, you're 4. You're 4, Coach. Dan or Emily? Dan Lewis, you're 4, making Emily your 5th and Matilda your 5th. Good luck, coaches.
So the curveball there is that Daniele Pinto, who went 3-0 against Benjamin Brosier, will face Ojo Ona-Alapo. And Benjamin Brosier and Dan Liu, both who lost all 3 to their respective opponent, will be going against each other to try to turn their nights around.
Interestingly enough, I found it quite interesting that when the Crocs put out Gorak in second place, Eric Owens immediately put Provost in the position. So that tells you how much confidence they have in Provost to raise the bar against Daniel Gorak.
Here we go. Sasha Hanen erases the 1-point deficit immediately. Duran to serve. It's been almost 2 hours since Duran's been on the table, but he retakes with such energy. Oh, what a finish by Hanen! Two-two. And now Provost and Gorak meet again. There's just a different sense of urgency here in the Golden Game when you know you only have 4 points. 4 points, it's such a small amount. Three all, Gorak with a couple serves here.
Provost has definitely been the luckier of the two this evening.
Look at that ball spin. Provost takes 3 out of 4, picks up where he left off from the singles match. And now it's Pinto and Ojo, 2 guys who have not tasted defeat yet tonight personally.
2 lefties as well.
Wow!
Ojo is not taking any long serves here. You serve long to Ojo at your own peril. Even half long. Any opportunity that man has to attack, he will attack.
5 all. That's 3 straight for Ojo. Onaolapo. Four straight for Ojo.
4 amazing setups, big forehand plays.
And that's truly astonishing productivity in the Golden Game for Ojo. Picking up where he left off in October. Dan Liu takes the first point from Brosier.
He's looking to redeem himself a little bit here in the Golden Game. Quite finding the timing with that forehand.
Crocs by 2. 2 serves for Brosier.
One net, 2 net, 3rd net, not happening.
And that's only 6 inches tall, but it can be a huge factor. So they split their 4-point sequence. And Ekholm and Tan come to the table to play singles for the first time tonight. Obviously, Emily Tan was making her shots a good bunch in the doubles match. But Ekholm and Gorak still took 2 out of 3. Good start for Emily Tan.
Seen a different spirit, different confidence from Emily here tonight.
She went for it, and she missed it. And Ekholm gets the serve back with a 2-point lead. Ekholm's bread and butter right there.
Yeah, definitely a very proficient reverse pendulum server. Taking no prisoners at all. Don't be fooled by that innocent looking face.
Yeah, they split their 4-point sequence. Back to the top of the order, Duran and Hanen. By the way, if we get to 20 all, it'll be Duran versus Hanen. Ultimate golden point. Hanen, service error to begin this 4-point sequence. Gets one back.
Very slight forehand opening there from Duran. It's ripe for the picking.
Duran frustrated, a miss hit. Chicago back within 1. Shots that both players want back in that 4-point sequence. And now 4 more points between Daniel Gorak and Damian Provost. Provost took 2 out of 3 games. He took 3 out of 4 points earlier in the Golden Game. Gorak has a 2-point lead as he comes back to the table. And the Crocs extend that lead to 3.
Bit of pressure mounting here for Chicago.
Reminder that coming into tonight, no team in the league has had the Golden Game success that Florida has experienced.
Provost gets within 1.
Crocs have won 5 out of their 6 Golden Games.
Wow! Big forehand winner from Gorak. They split their 4-point sequence there.
Great decision for him to move over and serve the reverse from the forehand side.
This Golden Game has been very even, except for Ojo Onaolapo versus Daniele Pinto.
Daniele tries to
Turn that around, and he gets the first point here.
This is interesting. Pinto with the backhand serve. Not having a bar of it.
Did that catch? It did! Can you believe it?
saw the change in direction.
Oh, what a shot again from Ojo Onaolapo. You gotta be kidding me. 3 straight for Ojo. Florida by 4. Brosier versus Liu next.
Liu's got to take 3 out of 4 here to give Chicago a chance. They can't send Emily to the table asking to win 4 straight against Ekholm.
Now it's in a tough spot for Liu. Brosier snagging that first one. Timeout Chicago.
60 seconds should you choose to use
Once
them all.
again, Ojo Ona-Olapo, the Golden Game Destroyer.
I feel like this timeout's a little bit late in the day for Chicago. If anything, I probably would have tried to get Daniele to play a little bit tighter to stop Ojo from sweeping him in those last 3 points. I mean, Ojo, every single ball that's drifted even remotely long today, he has just sent it out of this universe. It's a tough ask to call a timeout and send your player back in this position, down 14-19.
Brosier wants to try to close it out himself. And he's 1 point away from doing just that. The Florida Crocs 1 point away from going to 6-1 overall in MLTT. Liu fights one off there. And Dan Liu getting the next 2 players to the table. No, he can't. Benjamin Brosier closes out the night for the Florida Crocs.
Great finish there by Brosier. Just really fantastic team spirit from the Florida Crocs. And it's like Ojo said, that they've really unified as a team from all different places. You have Duran from Spain, Brosier from France, Gonzalez from Puerto Rico, Ojo from Nigeria, Ekholm from Sweden, and Gorak from Poland.
Yeah, and their players that aren't here from, I mean, their team, if you include the coach, is 9 people from 9 different countries. And they're in first place still.
All doing the chomp and doing it together. Really superb performance there. That a very decisive golden game from the Florida Crocs.
And it was Ojo taking 7 of the 8 points. I mean, he outscores Pinto 7-1. And that is the difference in the golden game. Let's talk to Frank Arias. We have talked to Frank a bunch, but his team has won a lot of golden games. That's 6 out of 7, Frank. Congratulations. What stood out to you about this victory tonight?
Thank you. We were looking forward to win in Chicago, playing there in their home town. So nothing more than great.
And for you, how did you feel tonight about Ojo's performance?
It was amazing. The clean sweep in the individual, and then you saw him on the golden game. He was fantastic.
The decision to match him up with Daniele in the golden game, is that something that you were thinking about? Obviously, Brosier struggled against Pinto, but Ojo had the edge against Dan. What went into that thought process?
Yeah, last time we played, Ojo played against Daniele, and he did really good. This time we didn't have the chance to match up at the beginning, but then we decided that if we have the chance, we will switch it on the golden game.
Well, just another exciting match. I mean, what is it about Ojo's mentality that has allowed him to succeed in these pressure-packed moments?
Well, he's a fighter, and every time he's under pressure, he gets the best of himself.
You needed that golden game win to stay above Carolina in the standings heading into tomorrow, and you got it. What's the message to the group as you head into the next 2 days?
We're going to keep fighting like every weekend.
Last thing, Frank, when you became the head coach of the Florida Crocs, how quickly did you settle on the chomp as kind of this team unifying emblem?
It was something casual. In the first game, Ojo did something like that, and then we say, "Oh, we need to adopt that as our team." So let's work it.
Great stuff. Congrats.
Thank
Well
you
done.
so much.
Frank
Thank you.
Arias, the head coach of the East Division leading Florida Crocs, as they prevail by a final score of 14-7. A couple of 14-7 wins tonight for Florida and Carolina, as the top two in the East stay above the rest in the East. And the guy that closed it out for the Crocs, Benjamin Brosier, man, what a battle that was. Up and down night for you, but your team put you in a position to get it done. What was going through your mind as you retook the table? I think it was, 18-14 there as you had a chance to close it out?
Yeah, you said the word, the team. You know, I think that's what we are, a team. And yeah, I think that's why also we handle to win that matches, that many golden games, is because we are together, we are fighting with each other. And to answer to your question, what crossed my mind at 18-14, just to go for it, because it's a stressful situation. It's never easy to play this kind of points, but okay, I had the things I wanted to do were clear in my head, and I just went for it. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
And taking it back, probably my favorite point of the evening in your singles match.
Yeah.
You ended up doing a Superman dive.
Yeah.
How do you get back up off the ground so quickly?
Look at the monitor here, Ben.
I mean, to be able to play such a good quality shot straight away after that was amazing. So
Yeah.
you have to be really happy with that.
And the best part is that on this point I lost my small finger. You know, when I dived, I had pain in my finger after the point. But I don't know. Actually, I was used to dive a lot when I was younger, and I stopped to do it because I was scared to be injured. Actually, because it's dangerous move, you know. And I don't know. Yeah, it's been a couple of times that I dive, maybe for the show. I don't know, but I'm not choosing it. I'm just fighting for the ball, and yeah, if it can do some nice punt like this and make the fan happy, yeah, it's good for me, you know.
Benjamin, we appreciate the show, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, same for me.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the time, guys.
Well
Thanks.
done.
Yeah, see you.
Benjamin Brosier closes out the night for the Florida Crocs as they stay atop the East Division standings. They entered with a 4-point lead. They finished Friday with a 4-point lead, and just more significant separation between the top two and the bottom two in this division right now.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things that you mentioned earlier is just look at the singles wins and losses. You see Florida at the top of the table, and they have the lowest number of singles games
That's
won.
astonishing.
It just shows you the different elements, and just as Benjamin was saying, it's about the team. It's not just about singles, and that is the magic of what Major League Table Tennis is bringing. It's not necessarily individualistic. It's the doubles, the golden game, the whole team performance.
And it's hard to fathom how they have the fewest wins in singles with the most golden games wins, which is a singles 4-point at a time team battle. It's fascinating. We're still learning as we watch the first season of Major League Table Tennis. But Matt Hetherington made his MLTT broadcasting debut tonight. What will be your takeaway as your head hits the pillow tonight?
Well, I mean, hopefully I'll be able to sleep. That's probably the first thing. Definitely looking forward to tomorrow.
Florida and Carolina are your day one winners. We're back with you tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern time for Princeton, Florida, then Carolina, Chicago. For Matt and our entire crew, Evan Lempler saying good night from Chicago. We will see you tomorrow.